Good afternoon and welcome back. Sorry, I think I had one too many martini last night, so my voice is a little bit lower than it normally is. I think that's more a demonstration of how much fun the conference has been. I'd like to introduce you back to the 4 years from now startup competition, which we've been running all week. This is the third of 3 events. But before we get into that, I would like to invite onto stage Aleix, the CEO of Mobile World Congress here in Barcelona, and Esteban from 4 years from now. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for coming for 4 years from now. We have these 3 amazing days of networking and business. I know a lot of stories from startups that came here, and I'm very close to close some rounds in investment or done contacts for business with corporations or even met peers to do a partnership. That has been really great. I mean, our feeling has been amazing, no? Walking around.
Yeah, at least the feedback we receive always is good or really bad, because it's the only ones who comes to say really bad things. Okay, but so far, no really bad things. Just one question, who's going to be back next year?
Raise your hands, come on, just make me happy for once.
And even paying your ticket or not? Okay. Thanks very much to our sponsors, wonderful sponsors that has been with us, some of them from the really beginning. As you know, we are doing our 4th anniversary. There are some questions that are going around. Are you going to change the name since 4 years has been over? It's time to change the name? No. To put a brand in the market is really expensive and really complicated. Then we are going to restart again to think what is going to happen next 4 years.
Exactly, and what is going to happen this year? We're going to Shanghai, remember that? So 4 years from now, Shanghai will happen in June, and we're going to San Francisco. So anyone wants to connect with the Silicon Valley, I think it's something quite interesting. You should look into that. And we will be there in September. So just remember, this edition of 4 years from now, Barcelona, we said we were going to be really big, more than 20,000. We're waiting for the final number, but from what I've seen, I'm sure we will get there. Mm-hmm. We were saying we will have 700 investors. We have more than 700 investors participating in all the activities of founders and investors that you were also involved at the end of the hall.
Mm-hmm. And also, again, for the 3rd time in a row, we are going to be in Tel Aviv during the DLD festival for the ones that needs to be connected and discover the amazing Israeli startup ecosystem. Join us. 4 years from now is your community. We are more than 26,000 entrepreneurs already in our community. You are part now of that community that is here to serve you, to be able to help you to find the right investor or the right client. Please let us know what we can do for you, because we are at your disposal to make entrepreneurship even bigger, more relevant at global scale. Thanks very much for being part. Without you, it's impossible. Then I will need to ask for a round of applause for yourself for being here during these 3 days in a row, suffering us, enjoying your stay in Barcelona, I hope. Please, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. And one more thing.
Our chairman is here. Can you come to the stage, please?
Well, José,
our chairman.
Did you announce the dates of next year? Yeah. We don't know the dates of next year, but it will be sometime at the end of February. We want to see all of you here. You announced Shanghai. You announced Tel Aviv. You announced San Francisco. Any special requests? Anybody want to have 4 years from now is in a city? Come and talk to Aleix. And a big round of applause for these 2 fantastic people, and they are a terrific team. And I'm saying it because otherwise they will not nominate me to be the chairman of next year. Thank you very much.
Bye. Hey. See you all on the closing party tonight at Sala Polo. Remember that, from 9 p.m.
Thank you very much. So I genuinely have the great pleasure of being able to host the startup competition. As I said, it's the third of 3 days. For those that weren't here on Monday, we were doing Disrupted by Mobile. Yesterday, we were doing IoT, and today we're doing digital media. But to give you some context, 4 years from now is the fastest growing startup event on the planet. Yeah, the competition itself attracted over 300 applications from 110 cities and 45 different countries. And together that came together, bringing together the corporates, bringing together startups, and bringing together investors, all of which you are very familiar with. And I think somebody mentioned to me there's actually 60% more people at this event than there were 12 months ago. So I would like to invite onto stage our jury. We're going to do a short panel discussion initially, after which we will be hearing from each of the 8 startups, where we will be hearing 4-minute pitches followed by question and answers, from which we will choose the winner for digital media today. Okay, so first up, I would like to invite Itamar from Life 360 Big Swing Ventures onto stage. Aurore from EQT Ventures. Richard from OpenOcean Ventures. And finally, Anne-Valérie from Serena Capital. Cool. So, first off, why don't you introduce yourselves, explain a little bit about your background and what you do.
Is this working? Hi. We'll start randomly,
Yeah, go for it.
randomly in the middle. So yeah, I'm Richard, as Jon just said. I'm a kind of software guy who's become an investing person over the last 25 years. Did my first startup in 1995. Started building software companies that sold to big, companies like Oracle and CA. So you didn't really know anything about brand and digital media in that context. But luckily, that enterprise developer stuff has got more sexy over the years, and brand is much, much more important. And also I now invest more broadly than just the kind of plumbing of the internet, but that's me.
I will follow on from that, Richard. So, hi, my name's Aurore Belfrage. I'm with EQT Ventures. New fund, new kids on the block. We've just raised and closed a fund in May of last year, based out of Stockholm, Amsterdam, London, $630 million. So we hope to provide European founders and growth companies with capital here in Europe. And I was just joking behind stage, we go for the normal buzzwords, right team, global opportunity, disruption, et cetera, et cetera. My background's in waste management and scrap dealing, so I was managing director for a scrapyard in Eastern Europe and in Italy, recycling electronics, actually, ironically. But then I've gone on and founded and co-founded a few different businesses, and super excited to talk about digital media and the future of that. I think that's one of the most exciting spaces right now in terms of where AI is taking us. So I'm looking forward to today.
So first of all, thanks for cleaning up all our mess, because with all the...
I mean, waste management, it is a lovely business, and I can talk about it for hours, but...
I can appreciate that. So hi, Itamar Novick. I'm the managing director of Big Swing Ventures, seed San Francisco-based fund with over 35 investments, mostly in Silicon Valley, some in Israel. I'm also the chief business officer of Life 360, which is essentially our biggest portfolio company. My background is in startups. I've been involved in startups for the last 15 years, starting in Israel, then moving to Silicon Valley, and helping, to sort of bridge that connection between Tel Aviv and San Francisco.
Hi, I'm Anne-Valérie. I'm in the VC industry since 2000, so I'm just like a dinosaur here. I joined Serena Capital 2 years ago. It's a French VC firm founded by entrepreneurs. And we do early growth, so late stage venture in any kind of digital tech companies, B2C, B2B. We have around 30 companies in our portfolio. And we've just raised a new fund, seed and A rounds, for data and artificial intelligence.
Cool. So let's jump straight into it. In a world of digital media, do brands matter anymore? They come and go so quickly.
Small topic then,
Suddenly, deathly silence. Oh my God.
Some come and go, and some stay. I mean,
yeah.
Well, yes, it matters.
Is brand important in digital media? Is it
150%?
Why?
Monumentally important for businesses, but also for individuals. I mean, I think there's a sort of saying that sort of brand is what is left over when everybody sort of leaves the room and people are talking about you when you're not there. But now it's not about when you've left the room. It's about all of these different points of interaction you have with the world. Many of which are digital, many of which are about to be powered by something else digital, and mastering the way in which those interactions reinforce your brand, reinforce your story, why you should exist, is critically important. And yeah, the internet can give, it can create enormous brands in the sphere of business, but also maybe unfortunately in the sphere of politics. It can also take them away. Maybe we're waiting for that, but it's critically important.
At the same time, so the short answer to the question is yes, brand matters. But I think the smorgasbord, to use a Swedish word, of media and brands makes it much more evident for me that the emotional connection is what matters. And obviously that's what infuses the brand. But understanding that emotional connection and using technology to do the psychoanalysis, so to speak, of your target audience and how they're interacting and understanding, is it rage I'm creating? Is it entertainment? Is it joy? Is it fear? Is it etc.? So we can understand the brand in a completely different way right now, which is much more valuable / creepy / scary.
I think actually brands matter more than ever, right? And brands help make the business case a little bit more extreme, right? So you can do very well with brand if you do omni-channel well, you're successful across social media, and there's new venues, new opportunities showing up to really, expose your brand as a startup entrepreneur, as a founder. But at the same time, there is also a lot of risk associated with brand these days. And as quickly as you can succeed in your branding efforts and your marketing efforts through those channels, you can fail even more quickly than that, right? So I don't think entrepreneurs and startups have the luxury to think about brands the same way, sort of the old school, let's say consumer goods or other type of branding that we are used to and know well. Let's say the classic business school brands that you learn at business school. I don't think that necessarily works. I think you need to move faster. Velocity is key. I think you need to adopt to new medias, adopt to new types of communication, and adopt to a new type of demographics that actually is used to consume your brand in new and different kind of ways than you did it before. If you fail to adopt, it's almost better if you don't try the brand yourself. But if you want to be successful, you got to play the game. You got to play it right.
But isn't it so that consumers don't consume your brand, they consume content?
So I think content marketing and communicating the brand through the content is key. But content comes in all shapes and forms, right? So clearly we all know that putting a banner ad inside a mobile app, that's not a great way to brand yourself, right? Probably you want to have more of that emotional connection with your user base and do it right through the right media.
So who do you look at and go, that actually they know how to understand how to use brand or create brand and create something which is more than the sum of its parts? Is there anybody that springs to mind as a tangible example of what you describe?
Yeah, so let me take a little bit of a contrarian view and bring sort of a little bit of the Silicon Valley mindset. So Silicon Valley, especially with digital media and direct-to-consumer B2C companies, actually enforces more of the hacking mentality. So it focuses more on performance marketing and ASO and SEO and all those different tools to get traction early on. And brand building usually comes later, when you find that product market fit, when your unit economics are actually in place. That's when you really go for the brand building exercise for many of the digital media companies. So when I think about, I'll give you an example of a successful portfolio company of mine, a company called Tile, who does IoT. It's like a really cool tracker. And this is a company that sold $50 million in trackers last year. So amazing success. And they have done very well on branding. But at the beginning, what the company and the founders have nailed is really amazing campaigns on Facebook. They're able to very effectively dial in their campaigns on Facebook to reach the customer acquisition cost that they needed to have to grow their business. Once they had that positive CAC to LTV loop, that's when they really went for the brand exercise and were very successful in doing that as well.
Yep.
I think, just quickly, I think you can combine the growth hacking with the concept of developing a story that helps you build a brand for a particular audience. We've seen that you can get that self-reinforcement within the echo chambers, and that's the nefarious side of it. But if you think about that odd community, maybe I shouldn't say that, but the developed community and the brands that have been built like GitHub and Atlassian and so forth, a huge amount of effort goes ahead into building an authentic brand, quirky brand, interesting brand, ahead of kind of growth hacking it. And then after that, they're kind of used in a complementary way.
Yeah.
I'd like to echo that in terms of authenticity. And I think we are becoming more and more cynical. So authenticity means something, and we're quite good at detecting what is a conceptualized something that actually doesn't come from the heart. And when it does, it resonates. It might not resonate with everyone, but those it does, it's a deep bond. And the obvious, in my opinion, the obvious answer to your question is someone like Apple, but I think a lot of us would agree with it.
I thought you were going to say ABBA there for a second.
ABBA, yes. ABBA, IKEA, H&M are the Swedish motherships that, yes, have amazing brands.
Yeah. So there's a
We
big,
practice that.
what you guys can't see is a big flashy light here which basically says zeros. So I'm going to ignore it for 5 minutes, which is what I agreed to do. But we have 5 minutes to answer the question. I have 4 investors on stage. I can't not ask the question of, if you all have $1 million to invest, what are you looking for? What is the business versus, don't give me the generic smart entrepreneurs and blah, blah, blah. I want subject areas of what is really interesting that you're interested in investing in.
I'll have a go.
Hardware?
I'll have a go. No, not hardware. I'll have a go.
You're on the wrong panel. That was yesterday.
Oh no. I'm probably here under a false identity. And actually, the bit that excites me the most is identity. I'm trying to see whether or not we're going to be able to get to that point that you can have like that trustless identity that is in the network. And whether you want to pick examples like consumer finance with marketplaces or small business finance, or whether you want to pick use cases like trying to get into this place and having to prove who you are, I think there's if you will, a confluence of technologies, great ways as companies here using video to ID you, combined with indeed some form of the blockchain that can provide identity that will underpin those really interesting services. But when they then exist, the challenge will be, how do you selectively delegate kind of authority over different parts of your data footprint in a way that serves you as a consumer? So just getting into places, just getting into autonomous cars, or just getting financial products. So those kind of areas are where we're looking, in fact.
Yep.
Really tough question. So I'm going to go top 3 on that one. And for me, the natural language processing AI things I find fantastic. And especially what I was referring to earlier, the emotional understanding of behaviors and then creating an outcome and a product based on that, I I find that so creepy and so interesting at the same time. I'm not going to do top 3. I'm going to do 2. Because the other side of the investment sector, which I think is I'm looking for a word. I'll give you a Swedish word. Is the femtech space. There is so many interesting stuff on the data play about how the female body works and the way we interact with our environment. And there's not that many founders that are building stuff and using artificial intelligence to create apps, services, software, etc. And I've seen a few here in Barcelona that got me really excited.
Cool.
So I very much agree. I'm looking for tech companies, but to answer...
You're in the right place.
Yes, I know. I've made an investment in Barcelona last year, so I know that. But to answer your question more on a media perspective, what we're looking for is people who are tapping new areas and new segments. So we made an investment in a company called Melty, and it's a media for young people. Mm-hmm. So that, well, innovation in an older space, that's always very interesting.
Cool. Last up.
So I'm an institutional seed investor, and for me that means actually focusing more on the people than what they're going after. Of course, that's a second important
We weren't
element.
allowed to do that. I also want to invest in the best founders.
Well, but I think that's, that's something that we have to aspire to get, right? The best founders are on the table. So
actually, I like the most difficult founders. That's my preference.
Yeah, that's fun. I dig that.
Right, come on, quick.
Because you're quite difficult, Richard.
As opposed to difficult panelists.
And I want founders with a lot of scarves.
But when I think about, so I have a few theses, not just on verticals, but on founders, right? So I'm interested in the type of founders. And one of the theses that I really like is actually founders that have a mix of B2C and B2B experience and are design-oriented. So I'd love to see founders taking their design and B2C orientation and taking their learnings from that side of the business into what I call lightweight SaaS, whether it's interacting with small and medium-sized businesses, which is very interesting. I'll give you an example. One company that I backed, a company called MyLikeQ, which is really a solution for small and medium-sized businesses. We had a very successful exit to Microsoft in that company last year, and the founders had profound insights into how consumers interact with mobile apps. So that basically is very interesting for me, and I love seeing that sort of unfolding in IoT, in lightweight SaaS, enterprise SaaS, and in big data plays.
Cool. Thank you very much. Would you like to guys give a clap, please? So now the main event. We have 8 startups for you. And first up, ready to go, I would like to introduce Vincent from Madrid Flusio.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take a picture of this moment, but I don't want to seem like really amateur. My name is Vicente Garcia, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Fluso. Why do you think Amazon or Netflix are ridiculously successful? They're not magicians. They just have data, tons of data about their users. Fluso is the Google Analytics for TV. We use digital analytics to measure TV and radio consumption. Marketing budgets for digital have been increasing year after year. However, television still commands the maximum share of the advertising pie, $200 billion. Advertisers have more information than they can handle about their digital investments, but much less information about all the money going to traditional TV. Another question, do you just watch traditional TV, or do you also use your smartphone or tablet to watch Game of Thrones? Exactly, now the audience is differed and splintered. And a third thing, traditional TV measurement methods are not able to provide a comprehensive picture of today's consumer behavior. The industry is looking for the hybrid of panel and census measurement models. Data is the only way traditional TV can compete with new players such as Netflix, Amazon, or HBO. And Fluso makes that hybrid possible. As I said, we are the Google Analytics for television. We turn TV viewers and content into digital users and monetizable assets. We turn data into action. Fluso works on our own automatic content recognition technology, Shazam-like, and we integrate our SDK into our clients' mobile applications to track how users watch television or listen to the radio. So basically, anytime someone uses an application with our technology, we'll be gathering a lot of information in real time about their favorite channels and programs, the types of content they like, the advertising campaigns they've seen, times they prefer to watch TV or listen to the radio, or even devices they love most. And our clients will use all this information to understand new segments among their audience, to optimize their investments in content producing and programming, to activate their users when a specific ad or a specific content are broadcast, to monetize new advertising formats, things, for instance, of a push notification synchronized with a TV commercial on the main screen. Basically, what they can do is to bring the call to action, the product or the service, from the TV screen to the screen of your smartphone, one click away to the purchase. And they can also use all this information we can generate to optimize or digitally amplify their TV campaigns or optimize their TV attribution models. Our clients pay a monthly fee, a monthly license for the use of the technology, and the pricing strategy varies according to the number of concurrent users of their applications, among other different criteria. We are already working with AXN, part of Sony Pictures, El Corte Inglés, Movistar, Televisa, which is our first project outside of Spain in Mexico, and Interaction Mobile. And we have a few new projects coming out soon before the summer. Marcos, José Luis, Diego, and I are the co-founders. Isra is our DevOps. Then we have Miguel Ángel Carreira Perpiñán, who is a well-known researcher in the field of machine learning from the University of California, Merced, who is our scientific advisor. And then we have Diego Semprún, who is an ex-Nielsen executive for EMEA, and he's our business advisor. We closed a seed round of investment, a 400,000 euros seed round of investment in 2015. PricewaterhouseCoopers chose us to be part of their high potential companies department, and we are looking for international growth and expansion in partnerships with big media groups in Europe, Latin America, and the US. We expect to multiply by 7 of our revenue this year, and we plan to close a Series A of investment by the beginning of 2018. Thank you for your kind attention, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? Questions?
So I'm thinking about traditional models like Nielsen, for example. They're focused on creating this panel, which is supposedly, is going to give you, as a publisher, as a TV, channel, it's going to give you insights in how effective and how your audience looks like. It looks like you're focused on helping the publishers themselves understand their audience, but you're not actually bringing in a panel from the outside world, right?
Well, the difference between our model and the panel model is that we are not representative. We are more like a census method. So that's the main difference. We are not representative, or that audience from that application, it's not representative of the whole population of a country. It's a more census that can complete the traditional panel and audimeter system to measure audiences.
So I had a question on the Shazam listening element of it. Is that an external hardware, or is it something the user downloads?
No, so we integrate the SDK into our client mobile application. So it's the SDK, it's inside the application, and anytime someone uses the application, it will start listening. Well, actually, it can start listening once you open the application, or when the client actually wants the application to start listening. Anytime they open the application, from 8 to midnight, it depends on the type of project.
So you're going to get me to download something?
Yeah.
How are you going to do that without making me feel that you've got something creepy that's listening to what I'm listening at?
No, actually, it's not a Fluso application, so it's our client's application, so they are already users of that application, and it can be an application of a TV program, series, a publisher, like a newspaper or anything. And if you don't want users to feel creepy, you just need to make a right use of their data, but that's not only a problem for Fluso, it's like for anyone working in digital media.
What is your business model?
Sorry?
What is your business model?
So basically, we have the client pays a monthly fee for the use of the technology, and there's a pricing strategy with different lawyers, and it varies according to different criteria. The most important criteria is the number of concurrent users in your application at the same time.
Cool. Thank you
Sorry,
very
I forgot
much.
to say, I thought it was a beautiful pitch.
Sorry?
I forgot to say, sorry, I thought it was a really great pitch.
Thank you.
Good job.
Cool. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Next up, again, here from Madrid in Spain, I'd like to introduce Daniel from Influence City.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel Sanchez. I'm the CEO of Influence City, and I'm looking for influencers. Is there an influencer here? Maybe you? No? Are you an influencer? No? Okay, everybody is an influencer. The only thing is that we impact in a small circle of people, friends and family. And this is about trust. On internet, there are some users like YouTubers, Twitstars, content creators, who have the trust of a lot of people. But obviously, on internet, there are millions of users, and finding the right influencer is really hard. Advertisers spend hours and hours searching on Google, Twitter, or Instagram, looking for the right influencer, but they just look for followers, a bunch of followers. Then when they have an influencer list, they use a spreadsheet like this one in order to manage manually the whole collaboration. This is a waste of time. A waste of time and a waste of money, because in this case, a Spanish advertiser is going to pay $3,500 to this girl who has more than 700,000 followers, which is a lot, but without knowing that only 3% of these followers are living in Spain. This campaign is not going to work. We have built what we call the influencer data-driven technology, and we have become the largest influencer search engine in the world, with more than 4 million people, 4 million influencers completely analyzed and indexed. We are present in the entire value chain of the influencer marketing campaign. Let me show you how it goes. We identify influencers by analyzing their followers. That means that we know how many of those followers are men, women, where they live, the age, interests, topics, and much more. Then we also control every single publication. So imagine that some influencer must publish something before 1 p.m. With some hashtag. We verify that all that happened in the right way. Also, we track in real time the whole campaign. So our customer always know what is going to happen with the campaign and with the money. When the campaign is over, we verify that every publication is correct and everything is right, and then we process all the payments to the influencer, and the influencer can get the money. At the end, our customer can get a report with all the metrics and relevant data about the campaign. We are selling our software as a SaaS subscription, billed annually, and in addition, if one of our customers run an influencer marketing campaign with us, then we also charge a campaign fee of the total cost. We have validated our model with different big corporates and big brands like Sony, Just Eat, Uber, or MTV, and also by partnering with the best agencies in the world, introducing our technology in their strategies and in their customers. Since we start, we have been always focused on sales. We build, test, and improve. We build, test, and improve. We build, test, and improve, and now we are ready to scale. We are a small family of 14 employees. This is our founder team, 4 different pieces, experts in marketing and communication, product design and UX, technology and software, businesses, and management. We are not looking for any investment now, but please remember me, remember the bearded guy, since we are opening our Series A very soon. We will use that money in order to scale worldwide, thinking globally, but executing locally. Thank you very much.
Great slides. One quick question. I just sort of trying to angle. Maybe I should be looking down here, but I get you both in shot here. What were your numbers again in terms of revenue? I didn't quite catch the axes.
25%, 20,000 euros. Right? Sorry.
25,000
20,000.
MRR. Got it. Really good slide. Summary. Never waste a summary slide. Very good.
Thank you, Daniel. I thought that was a great pitch as well. And it's obviously a problem that needs to be solved. But it's a crowded space. There's a lot of people that are working with influencers, and there's a lot of brands that are engaged, and they usually want a direct relationship with their influencers. How are you standing out in the market of influencer technology?
I mean, we give the value a B2B. I mean, we are to the brands and the corporates. We are not in the middle. We are not an agency. We don't make any relationship with the influencer. We analyze follower per follower in order to understand how they act with the follower, how they engage with them. So giving more information to a brand in order to choose the better influencer and in order to have the best return of investment. So basically, it's, let's say that it's like a CRM, but for influencers.
So first of all, great pitch, and I think you can't go wrong with women in bikinis. So that good pick on that, or you can, depends on how you look. But I think one of the biggest challenges in that space that I've seen at least is understanding the effectiveness of those influencer campaigns, right? So so you help those brands spot and understand who are the best influencers to work with, but how do you actually track and attribute that the campaign has also been successful? I hear that as a pretty big barrier for influencer marketing to really thrive. So how do you think about that?
I mean, we are doing that. I mean, we are trying to make more professional this business. There are a bunch of influencers, or call it influencers, doing something, but they don't know how to make it better. So we track. Let's say that we control every single publication. We give the value, economic value, to a publication, to an interaction, to the engagement. I mean, it's not the same thing if a follower of you give you a like, or someone that is not your follower yet give you a like. I mean, it's different value, economic value. So we control all that in order to put order, let's say, in the business.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And next up, hometown boy from Barcelona, I'd like to introduce Daniel from Itcher.
Good afternoon, everyone. This guy is frustrated and he's bored. And the reason is he cannot find a good movie or TV show to watch. And I'm sure we've all been there. We come home from a long office day, we finish our dinner, maybe we put our kids to bed, and then we have that 1.5 or 2 hours of quality time where we just want to sit back, relax, and enjoy a good movie or TV show. So we open up Netflix, we browse for a while, then we may open up Amazon Prime, see what's on there. We go to iTunes, and we start browsing a little bit there, and we start looking at our watch, and 15 or 20 minutes of that precious quality time is gone. And we start looking a little bit like this guy, the frustration. And that's exactly the reason why we built Itcher, to solve the problem of entertainment discovery and make sure you can find your next favorite movie in less than 50 seconds. So how does it work? Well, effectively, looking at the picture of the global movie landscape on demand, Itcher sits like an umbrella on top of existing services. So looking here on subscription services like Netflix or pay-as-you-go services like iTunes, we connect everything together. And this, for starters, gives us a tremendous depth of content. So just to give you an example of movies, we have over 30,000 movies on Itcher that are immediately streamable at one click or one tap. And that compares to just over 2,000 movies that are available if you rely on Netflix alone. So what have we built so far? Well, we started out by creating an Android, iOS, and web app. And then 6 months ago, Google actually approached us, and they said, we're about to launch this new product called Google Home, and we'd love to invite you to be part of the early access program to be the book and movie recommendation on the device when it's shipped. So that was a tremendous case study for us to be able to prove that we can deploy this machine learning algorithm at its core onto many different platforms. So we see this, we can roll this out on streaming devices, smart TVs, or across any other platforms where we could effectively use our technology. So where have we gotten so far? Well, we launched this app only a year ago. And in that year, we've managed to get 200,000 users with very limited marketing support. And these users interacted with our 2.6 million titles across our 5 different entertainment categories. And those users have interacted and provided us with a lot of ratings, 8.4 million to date. And that means, if you do the math, each user almost rates 50 items. That means we have a lot of engagement from the user providing us with that rich data. And using that rich data, we can provide personalized recommendations. And we've given our users over 60 million recommendations to date. So let me show you briefly how that recommendation engine works. Picture yourself in the middle of this graph. And what we do is we measure who are the users in our network that are closest to you, and how can we create recommendations from those users. So this is almost like your trusted friends in the offline world, but in an anonymized online environment. So the people that have closest taste to you are the ones powering your recommendations. So obviously then comes the $1 billion question. How do we make money out of this? Well, we see this as a B2C, not just as a B2C business, but as a B2B2C business, where we really, our users are fueling us with the data, and that data we can monetize through our partnerships with publishers, with distributors, with content owners. Just to give an example, $15 billion every year is being spent by studios and record labels to market their titles. And only 5% of that budget is currently going into online. So that means there's a tremendous opportunity for brands, such as Warner Brothers or any other studios or record labels, to go into a market where they can target their users in a very segmented and targeted way. So hopefully, next time you think about what to watch, you should remember Itcher, because it will find you your next favorite movie in less than 50 seconds. So I challenge you to try it out. Thank you very much.
Cool pitch, I've actually heard several people recommend you these last few days here, so I'm glad I got the proper pitch. I was wondering, you were talking about the B2C model and the B2B2C, I love the buzzwords model. Could you explain a bit more?
Yeah, sure. So what we know and what we realize is that monetizing a B2C model in an environment like this is quite challenging. Obviously, we can get a little bit of commission from iTunes and Amazon when we send users their way to rent their movies and so on. But really, the monetization is quite small. So what we think is, really the monetization needs to happen on the business-to-business side, which means, obviously, all that data that we're generating and that we're collecting, we can really start connecting the dots between users. So if we start speaking, for example, to a Warner Brothers, and they say, okay, we're going to launch the next, I'm just making this up now, let's say we're going to launch the next Spider-Man movie. Well, we can tell them exactly who their fans were for the Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 1, and they can start thinking, okay, well, not only geography and gender and age, but also exactly what other movies they like, what other content they like, what books they read, et cetera, et cetera. So that rich data, we can obviously segment and fragment, and we can sell that to different parties. And we're in pilots with 2 or 3 partners already to start seeing if we can pilot this.
What about your team?
Our team. Yeah, so we're 3 co-founders. One very experienced CEO called Will Cooper, who's been, he built Achika. He was the CEO of TradeDoubler, took that public. Myself, I built Madbid, which is a UK-based gamified e-commerce company, currently in 24 countries, generating about 30 million. And then we have a CTO who's very seasoned, both in California and London, has worked CTO position about 6 different companies. And apart from that, we have another 4 employees who are very skilled and very driven.
Thanks.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. And next up from New York, I'd like to introduce Gorka from, I'm going to get this wrong, Kasioko.
Hi. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Gorka. I am the dreamer, founder, and CEO of Kasitoko. We all know that display advertising is broken. Ad blockers have led advertisers to looking for new ways of impact their audience, and influencer marketing is growing very fast. It's the trend that is growing faster. The problem is that in the last years, hundreds and hundreds of influencer networks, influencer technology, influencer agencies are offering their services in the market. And the question is, how can you work with that? The big problem is that 90% of those networks, those agencies, don't have technology. And the ones that they have technology, they work with different technology, they measure in different ways, they have different business models, and there is not an exchange. So how can advertisers navigate in this chaos? Don't worry, here we are. Casitoco is the solution. With Casitoco, Casitoco has developed a technology that standardizes the market. With Casitoco, advertisers can buy actions with influencers of any network. They can scale their business. They can buy actions. They're easy, very easy, and transparent. And influencer networks, they can sell their inventory globally through our system, and they can manage their business with our platform. We went to the market just 5 weeks ago, and we are now in 12 countries. We are growing very, very fast. Our customers told us that we have the best technology, and it's just our MVP. We have to grow faster. We are growing very fast, but we know we have to go faster and faster. And by the end of the year, we are confident that we can be the largest meta network worldwide. But we didn't get here by chance. Our Valls team is located between New York and Europe. We have created more than 5 startups previously, we have raised 6 million in other projects. And our team of engineers came from TicketBiz that have been sold last year to eBay for more than 150 million. And yes, we have a very expertise team in digital marketing. Now we are looking for 1 million. We are alone in the market because there is not other technology, there is not other startups giving technology to third parties for growing this market fast. And we have 50% of the investment committed, and we need the rest for growing faster in Europe and in the United States. It's where we are, and for develop more technology and for start a business in Asia. So thank you very much.
Questions?
So first of all, influencer marketing sounds like a lot of fun because you get to hang out with celebrities, so I love that. But what I didn't understand is really, when I think about demand-side platforms, I think about, platforms that aggregate demand. You bring all the advertisers in and their budgets. So I wasn't sure if you're really focused more on the advertisers, the people that want to tap into the influencers, or you're focused on being a supply-side platform which aggregates the influencer themselves, or you're doing both.
Well, we give the technology to advertising networks. They have the inventory, they have the influencer. We are not a network. We are the technology, the platform that is in the middle. So we don't have influencers, and we put those influencers in the market through a DSP or DSP programmatically. So the advertisers can buy influencers of any network. They are not our influencers. They are influencers of those networks. We are the technology, and in between, we get some revenue share for the service.
Got it. So it's essentially more of an ad exchange technology.
Yes. We are the first exchange for influencer marketing. We are doing the same that 10 years ago in display advertising with RTV. Now we are the RTV for influencer marketing.
Thank you.
And sorry, I didn't understand completely. So when you access influencers in other networks, do you need to connect with them and recruit them, or?
You're already connected because we give the technology to those influencer networks, and they invite to their inventory, to their influencers, through our app. That is an app that we made for them, a white label app. When they download the app with the name of that network, they are connected to that network and also to the DSP. So all of them are connected to Casitoco DSP through the technology of each network. That is our technology, and we give that technology to those networks for free. That's why we are growing very fast. With our technology, those networks can manage the campaigns, can manage the measure, can manage how to pay to all of them. And this technology, that is very expensive technology, they have to develop that, we give them for free. So 90% of those networks, they don't have technology. Now they have a huge technology for free. From the first day, they can be like the largest network.
And the business model is?
We get from 20 to 30% of investment through our DSP.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gorka. And next up from London, I'd like to introduce on stage Olga from Lobster.
Hello. Hi, I'm Olga, co-founder of Lobster, and we're changing the way people license media content from each other. Between my MBA and Lobster, I was working for a major brand, and I was always stuck with stock photo content, which is ordinary and expensive and all the white American smiles. At the same time, people post 2 billion photos and videos on social media every day, but we can't use them because the copyright belongs to the people. To solve this, we have created Lobster, the social content marketplace. To sign up at Lobster, all the person has to do is add one of the 9 social media accounts, and we do the rest for them. We index the hashtags, descriptions, geolocations, rank and price the content with our AI formula. What's most exciting, we add auto-tagging to filter by tags, filter by faces, by color palettes, genders, ethnicity, and emotional palette for the media agencies and advertisers to find the perfect piece of content and license directly from the contributor, sending them 75% of the fees. We estimated this market in $2 billion in photography alone, $5 billion if we add videos, 360-degree content, cinemagraphs, and all of the innovative content that we are already creating as people. We mainly work on the subscription business model with the agencies, and we have created an API to plug into consumer platforms to enable individual creators to also license people, real people content. You may still be wondering what's so special about the photo industry, and the photo stock is simple. However, a number of UGC platforms is emerging. The biggest difference of Lobster is that we're not creating an app for you specifically to post something to sell, but we are uncovering billions of photos and videos that naturally are posted around the world. This makes us the most scalable platform and allows us to partner with social media providers such as Instagram and Facebook, because we increase their engagement and not compete with them for users. And we also partner with some of our competitors. And the clicker stopped working for me for some reason, so I have to continue like that. We have launched on stage of TechCrunch Disrupt Battlefield in 2014, following Wayra Accelerator, and right now we have got 6 million photos and videos immediately available. We have got first paying customers on the subscription model, and we have just raised £1 million in investment to really take this little but already global platform on a more global level to make it the place for everyone to license content when they need it. Oh, thank you. This is the team. It has been working on award-winning products before and launching media startups, and we scale the tech team right now in Moscow, whereas the marketing is based in London, and expanding to the US, allowing us to actually get the best tech talent at a good rate. And we complement the expertise with the media and advertising and growth hacking experts on board. This I have already discussed. And these are some of our customers and partners, and all of the major agencies in London are already aware of us. And the main route to market for us has been so far the press coverage, free PR that has generated the first customers, as well as social media and some successful AdWords experiments. And we're planning to invest 60% of this 1 million round exactly into scaling the sales and marketing operations, and about 40% into further perfecting the amazing AI search formula and teaching it how to find truly beautiful content that people actually create and other people find beautiful. Thank you. It's important for us to be here, and remember, the world is your lobster.
for what was a tech fail in the middle of that. Go on.
You were dying to get to that punchline, I think.
I love that punchline.
You could eat that punchline. So it makes a lot of sense. I can see sort of, Google for UGC images, and I couldn't personally say whether people will pay on average $2 or euros for each image. But I'm just wondering how much you lose out. I mean, do you have your own images that are generated by the app as well? And because you seem to be focused on what is publicly available.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to answer the question with the help of this slide. So basically, people learn about us somewhere on social media, and they come and they actively opt in for licensing. At the same time, we have the publicly available content that we can search on our platform, and then you can request that content, and that's about 40 billion different items in photos and videos. Does that answer the question?
So there's an opt-in, but you've got
yes,
a lot of
there is
publicly
an
available
opt-in,
images.
but we solved the chicken and the egg problem, showing all of the content, not just those who have opted in, and allowing you as a media company to say, I want this, I want this, I want this, wherever in the world they are, and then messaging them to opt in.
So out of the 6 million images that you have, how many have been purchased?
Well, it's probably a few thousands, because we have just started monetizing, and those first subscription customers are starting to purchase. In the pipeline, we have immediate pipeline of about 30,000 in subscriptions. By end of this year, we want to be at about £100,000 per month in the monthly revenue, meaning about 100,000 downloads.
We were having a similar discussion yesterday about a similar type of service. So there's clearly a problem here that needs to be solved. And I think what we came to the conclusion is on the supply side, there's a lot of images and we take a lot of pictures, and we want to monetize that. But how do you create the new behavior on the demand side? And how do you get the advertisers or the brands to engage in a way that has long-term retention and sustainability?
We see two main behavior patterns in advertisers. One would be they haven't used UGC, and we have to come and we have to show them the beauty of the UGC, and they start using it for their brand campaigns. One of the examples is Hill's Pet brand in the US and their agency, which has started using UGC with this. The other, and that's a good example from today, I've had a lot of people coming up to our booth saying, I already use UGC, but my editors spend half a day on clearing the rights and finding the image, so it's so cool that you are automating that. And then we only have to sell them the automation, and they become loyal customers for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Olga. And next up from Berlin, I'd like to introduce Jordi from Media Analytics.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Jordi Pallares, the CEO and co-founder from Media Analytics, and I'm so glad to be here. I would like to share with you in one sentence what we do. So we detect brand presence and quantify brand impact. But what is this all about? So imagine we've been talking today about influencers. Imagine we have an influencer doing a Periscope, and we have some brand presence on it. Different brands. How can we quantify this brand presence? So in an accurate way. So in an accurate way, that means position, size, occlusion, exclusivity, these kind of features. Or another example, we're watching a football game of our favorite team, and our favorite player scores the goal of the year. What is the ROI of the advertisement that is in this video? This video is going to be seen zillions of times across the world over the years. How can we do that? So this is what we focus on. We focus on live streaming and premium sport events, this is where fans meet brands, billion-dollar business, social media content, also influencer and user-generated content is a big trend. And we find also product placement in series and TV shows. And then the answer is, the question is, where can we put our next advertisement campaign? Or another interesting question is, how can we get all this brand presence in an easy way that we can really understand? So this is our vision. And our solution. It's 9 a.m., I get my mobile phone, and I can see where my brand is right now. I can see how my advertisement campaign is doing. I can also see what are the other competitors doing. And digital audience, it's all digital. So we can count views, we can count social engagement, we can count likes, we can count everything. So what's the impact worth the investment that we did? So this is what we offer. We offer a proprietary research-based technology. We deliver the data in real time, fully automated, cross-channel. And so how do we deliver that? You can get a subscription for a special event. You can get it also on a SaaS or PaaS platform so that you can even customize the features you want to check. And also very important, we also offer an API. Because every brand, big brand, is doing their own business intelligence. And we think that if you can have access to this information, your business intelligence is going to get even better. And you can also use this API for enabling new business models like second screen applications or whatever, so it's open to the imagination. Get a push notification when your brand appears, etc. No? Whose problems are we solving? So we all need better data to make better decisions. We have this proof. So when we get all this information that we can understand, we can digest it, we can send it to you. We can prove, for example, when content is happening, the thing, media agencies. Well, this is our team, seasoned team. So we're going to develop our brand, to develop our technology, and to develop our business. By the way, I'm also the technical guy, so if you have any questions about artificial intelligence or anything, you can throw it. And we are watching. So summing up, we have this cloud technology to get your brands, your faces, your products. We gather and analyze all this data and deliver it to you in the most convenient way. We have a demo. We have talked today with lots of interested people in implementing our services. We're going to go for it. And if you would like to join us in this exciting journey, let us know. Thank you very much.
Questions?
Yeah, please.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your business model?
The business model is, so we offer this technology. You can subscribe to an event. For example, if you're a brand and you're investing in your advertising in football, for example, or in another live sport event, or your brand is in influencer, so you can get updates to your mobile phone. You can also benefit from SaaS. You get all the data delivered to you. Also, we have this API where you can get this information on your business intelligence or on your phone. And then so for every type of service, we will have a different pricing, and so we have to think about this.
You missed the best part of every pitch, and that's bragging. Show us the numbers. How many clients? How many people are using it?
So right now, it's been a long time. It took us some time to develop this technology. We have this MVP. We are talking with media agencies. We talked today. So this is great. This is a great place for making a lot of business. We talked with live premium sport events like UEFA. We talked with influencer marketing that they would also be interested in using this artificial intelligence that we are developing for other needs, because there's plenty of use cases with this technology that we are developing. We are so excited about it. And customers, okay, this is the one thing we have to work on, but we are definitely going to go for it because it's all there.
Customers are good to have. I think definitely go for it.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much, Jordi. And next up from Valencia, I'd like to introduce Duran from Relendo.
Good evening. My name is Duran Chatlani. I'm CEO and co-founder of Relendo, and we have built a better way to rent products online. Most of us here have bought products that we've barely used. Maybe we've used once or twice. So my question to all of you is, do we really need to own these products, or does it make more sense to rent them? We know there's a huge opportunity in that of excess and idle inventory. And for that reason, we started Relendo, an online marketplace which enables users such as peers and businesses to rent their goods online. On one hand, peers like you and me need security and transparency. And this we do through several measures, as you can see. On the other hand, businesses are disorganized, lack standards, and many of them don't even have a product catalog. So we've built a solution to help them manage this and offer a better experience. So how does Relendo work? Well, users search for products, they find them, and finally, they rent them out through our platform. And what is the value that we add to our customers, to the people who use Relendo? Well, first of all, we aggregate all of the rental inventory in Spain into one single platform. Not only that, we add a layer of security because all of the products we offer in Relendo are insured. And finally, we save time for businesses by standardizing certain processes. So our goal is to build a bridge between the sharing economy and the offline rental industry. And no, we're not the only ones doing this. We have a few market validators. And for that reason, we've had to work hard on finding ways to differentiate ourselves. First of all, we are one of the few platforms in the world that actually not only covers damage to goods, but also theft. We not only focus on peer-to-peer, but also on the B2C and B2B lines. Because what we've learned from our customers is that what they want is to cover their need. And it doesn't matter if it's a person or a business that they work with. And finally, we've worked really hard on building a strong community. 30 to 35% of our monthly transactions are recurrent. Our users love us. So what truly differentiates us from the rest of our competitors is actually our strong and well-balanced team. Our CTO and co-founder, José Vicente, a Fulbright scholar with a master's in AI from Columbia University. Our CMO and co-founder, Borja Postigo, with a background, 8 years of experience in digital media and previously started another startup. And myself with a background in information systems and global business. I have experience working in Spain and the United States. So you'll be asking yourself, how do they make money? Well, we take a 20% transactional fee. Not only that, what we're working on currently is on leveraging network effects. And what do I mean by this? We're working with large retailers and brands to build a consignment strategy in order to get inventory from them so we can offer to our users for free or for a very low cost. And what is the goal of this? Well, we believe that the future of building brands, building communities, is based on storytelling, sharing experiences. And that is what we're seeing that's changing. That is what we want to push for. So we started out last year focused on one niche. 70% of our transactions come from photography and video. And this year, we saw some other hotspots and decided to launch 2 new niches, one being caravans and the other one being tools. And you may be asking why. Well, the customer acquisition cost is pretty much the same, but the average order value is 10 to 20 times higher. So 2016, we focused on covering one side of the marketplace. We have over 13,000 products in stock. We've been growing on the demand side 22% month over month. And as I mentioned before, 30 to 35% of our transactions each month are from users that have rented before. So what is our goal for the future? We want to focus on demand prediction, which will allow us and enable us to start developing smart dispatch algorithms, and then focus on dynamic pricing. And what do I mean by dynamic pricing? Well, right now, if you rent a product 1 day ahead of time or 30 days ahead of time, you pay the same amount. And we see a huge opportunity here. We're currently raising 400,000 euros, and our main goal is to get to a monthly break-even point by mid-next year. Someone in this industry is going to build a billion-dollar company. Come find us at a break, and we'll tell you how Relenda is going to get there. Thank you.
I love how you seem to turn the competition slide into market validation. That was deftly done. The physical side, if I want my Airstream caravan or I want my Canon lens, how do I get it? What part do you play in that part of it?
The logistics between the rentals?
Yeah.
With peers, you usually communicate with a normal chat like Airbnb and meet in a particular space. In the future, we can develop partnerships, say, with Starbucks or other chains so they can meet there and build more trust and spend time together. So empower that community building.
Thank you.
I've got two questions. One was on inventory growth, which I think is an excellent growth traction metric, but maybe you could share also how many units have been rented. And the other one was a lot of these peer-to-peer marketplaces that are successful are mobile first because of the geolocation opportunity. Could you share your thought process there?
Okay, so we're moving around 300 transactions a month approx. 200 transactions a month approx. And your second question was, sorry, mobile-centric. So what we started as a web platform. It was our MVP, which we built upon. What we realized is mobile is really important for geolocation and for uploading product. It reduces a lot of the friction. It helps with retention. But our strategy here is acquire online, validate paid marketing channels, AdWords, Facebook, and so on, see if this is scalable, and then start developing an SEO strategy. Then we capture that traffic and convert it into the app.
So not go mobile?
And so, sorry?
So not go mobile?
Yeah, no, we have a mobile app.
Sorry, I understood that the validation was online.
Yes, we have a website and we have a mobile application. So our strategy is acquire traffic through our website and retain them on our mobile app.
Understood.
Okay. Thank you very much, Duran. And last, but definitely not least, make it a good one. Indigo from Madrid here, The Motion.
Thank you. You pronounce my name great. Buenas tardes. Thank you for having us. I love the city, Barcelona. Congratulations. Now, today we're talking about video. 72% of today's internet traffic is video and growing. But only 19% of the marketing dollars are dedicated to video advertising. Why? We've all gone through the process of creating a video ad. It's expensive, it's very time-consuming, and once you have the content and you need to update it, it's a nightmare. Now we have a solution for this. We have created a unique technology that enables any company with a digital catalog create a video ad of each and every product of that catalog automatically, instantly, and at massive scale. Now, once these video ads are ready, the customer run video advertising campaigns across the largest acquisition channels, and growth accelerates. Let me show two concrete examples. Example number one, Facebook, e-commerce, Super Studio. They run the solution. In 3 weeks, CPA, it's cut in 2 and sales multiplied by 2. Case number two, travel, Melia, retargeting platform. Numbers talk by themselves. Let me walk you through very quickly the story of our company. We identified the opportunity for accelerating online sales through video advertising on May 2015. We started building the team and we built the platform. 2016, we started experimenting and running pilots with customers until we found our product market fit with video advertising SaaS. September, we started a go-to-market and we started closing deals with big brands like eBay, Rivalia, Melia, Shifted, and a lot others. But we also start closing deals with global advertising platforms to scale our solution to thousands of advertisers across the globe. It's already happening. We are growing. Our team is closing sales right there in our booth. This month of February, we are recording 100,000 euros of new contracts with this beautiful service. We're multiplying by 3 the business that we built on the last quarter of 2016. Our business model, very simple. Subscription model. They pay a monthly fee, and the customers will be paying depending on the number of videos they create and the service that we provide. This team has already made it happen. We have built disruptive products. We have scaled them globally, and we have grown companies until taking them public. As you can see, they're all smiling. Before I finish, I would like to share a real example of how our magic works. So let's see if the video runs. Okay. Imagine any product that is available on the internet and you want to promote. By providing us the URL, we will grab that information and we will render a video that you will see in a minute that will accelerate sales. That's what any company needs. And we can do this at scale. This video that you're watching has been created automatically, and we can scale this very, very fast. So, video is booming. The motion is booming, and we're looking for companies that want to boom with this beautiful activity and with the video ecosystem. Thank you very much. May I sit down?
Welcome to our office.
Thank you. It's been a busy day. Sorry.
Don't make yourself too comfortable.
Do you need infrastructure to scale?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Do you need infrastructure to scale? Do you store the videos? Do you store them for your clients? What do you do with?
No, we run everything through AWS. I mean, we have built a very sophisticated infrastructure and system, so we can scale. We can run up to 100,000 video ads per hour, 60 million video ads per month. I mean, yeah, we do everything through AWS.
That 100,000 bookings, I think, for this month, how much of that is licenses and how much is services, and what's the margin on the licenses,
okay,
given your storage needs?
Margins are around, gross margin are around 70%. Basically, I will say 50% of those contracts are recurring contracts. Basically, our model is the customer will run a first campaign. In a month, they will see the metrics, and then they go into a yearly contract. So basically, it's a mix between both.
So prior to the magic, which is obviously the interesting bit here, does your advertiser, how much content do they need for your magic to be really magical?
I think that is the great opportunity, because basically the advertisers, they do have their digital content. They're using it for their website, for their app, they have it. Actually, they're using it for acquiring new users, for example, in Google Shopping or in DPA in Facebook or either in affiliate networks. That's what they need. Do we need to ask them for anything else? No. That's what they need, that's what they have, and they will leverage on that content in order to us bring the magic and accelerate their sales through video.
So my actual question is, they provide the content. Do you add on to that? Do you scrape from somewhere else, or do you use the content from an API or product feed?
Okay, we do scrape the content, or I mean, a lot of customers provide us an XML or a data feed that they're running right now. And yes, we do enrich it. We do enrich it. I mean, sometimes we do treat the images. Sometimes we do include some footages. Sometimes we do some variations in order to look for performance. We put a claim before, we shorten the video. I mean, there are a lot of different combinations, a lot of possibilities to drive sales. That's basically what the customer wants, and that's what we provide.
Increasing performance would include some sort of call to action in that content?
Usually yes, but you know, Facebook, for example, you cannot. So it really depends on each channel. But at the end of the day, the question is very simple: how can I sell more? How can I engage customer in a more efficient way, so so I can sell more, and that's basically what we hope to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, the motion team.
Okay, I would like now the jury to go backstage and deliberate who the winner is going to be. Whenever you're ready. VCs don't take instruction very well. Get off. Okay, so last year's winner for the Digital Media Award was actually a very good friend of mine from London, Offrey from Pixani, who's going to describe what's been going on.
Hi. 1, 2, 1, 2, good. Hi, good evening. So before I tell you how amazing this past year has been since we won the 4IFN Award last year, a little bit about Pixani before we jump right in. Promise to keep it really short. So Pixani analyzes people's personal photo and video galleries that they have stored on their devices in order to extract some very clever data about them completely anonymously. But before we dive in, let's take a real-life example. Let's pretend you have two people on your app right now. Let's call them person 1 and person 2 for the time being. What do we know about them, really, and what everything we know about them? So what do we really know? Oh, no. Huh, there we go. So what do we really know about them? Some third-party demographic data. We know that they're both male, married twice, grown children, young grandchildren, great. Geolocation tracking, we can tell they're both English, enjoy the countryside, holiday in the Alps, and are extensive travelers. By reading some social media, doing some social media listening, we can tell whether they were born 1948, love dogs, and really enjoy sports cars. And by tracking their online behavior purchasing habits, we can tell that they're both pretty wealthy. Great. These two guys are the same. We can target them with the exact same content or marketing content. But in fact, they couldn't be more different. And if you're British, you should have picked up on it by now. But these guys are Ozzy Osbourne and Prince Charles, right? They correspond to the exact same characteristics. So how do we tell these two guys apart, right? One way to do it is by looking at their photo gallery. Right? A great place to start. If we were looking at their photo gallery, you can definitely tell how Prince Charles liked to enjoy his evenings versus Ozzy, how Prince Charles enjoys family time versus Ozzy's family time. Clearly can't target them with the same content. So, why photos, and how do we do it? Good question. So first of all, why photographs? Why photo gallery? First of all, it looks like a set of data, right? It looks like a data set if you zoom out of it over a timeline. But also, people take, on average, 250 photos every month. Women on iPhone 6 in 2017 was actually 380 photos every month on average. The average user has over 1,500 photos on their device and 24 videos. It is the only offline documentation that we do on our device. And only less than 2% of that actually goes to social media, right? Which is not a real, true representative of who we are. So what you're asking yourself now is, how do we analyze these personal photos and not end up in jail the next day? That's a good question. And that's where Pixani comes in. We developed an SDK, or a software developer's kit, that can be integrated into any host app. Once the SDK is on that host app, be it your bank app, your news app, your e-commerce app, once it's there, it teaches the user's device, own CPU, how to analyze its own photos, meaning that at no time do we see the photos, touch the photos, or even move them to a temporary folder. Everything is on device. Once that is done, we teach the SDK how to condense all those photos into an abstract feature vector, which is extracted onto our brain server, analyzed, and the results are sent directly to our clients. So what can we do with this amazing characteristic? So Pixani today extracts 150 personal characteristics from each feature vector. And what we offer our clients is, first of all, a way to cluster their audiences, not based on their third-party data, online behaviors, social media listening, but on personal characteristics, and create their own clusters based on those demographics and personal lifestyles. But that is just the tip of the iceberg for Pixani. Because we are on device, every new photo you take gets automatically added to your feature vector, so we can start tracking important life-changing events. For example, when your photo gallery goes from this to this, Pixani is there. However, when you're here, it's too late. You've already picked your favorite diaper brand, you've already picked your favorite milk brand, you've already picked the baby-changing drawer that you want to buy, but we help you target them before they get to that point, because as you transfer from this photo gallery to this one, there are changes to your photo gallery that create a pattern that we can identify. But that's enough about Pixelanie. This is where we end. You can come talk to us about it later. A little bit about what happened in the past year since winning the 4IFN, which has been absolutely phenomenal for us. Winning the award here was a ridiculous launch pad for Pixelanie, and I'll tell you exactly why. In the past year, this is everything I'm going to show you now happened in the past year since winning the award. So since the past year, our team grew from 6 in Tel Aviv to 20 in both Tel Aviv and London. We went from our pre-seed round of £400,000 to completing our seed A, first, second, third, depends what country you come from, round of £2.4 million. We brought on board some really good strategic partners like Telefonica, Santander, and Unilever over the past year. The media has been covering us, so this is, I put the quotes up so you don't, more relevant data than most social media networks, which was great, out of the BBC. And it allowed us to launch our product into the market, which we were live demoing here all week, but you can come and talk to us tomorrow as well. That's it for me. You guys have been a great, phenomenal audience. Are the judges ready? Yeah, all right, thank you very much. You've been phenomenal. I've been Offrey from Pixelanie, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Let me give that to you. I don't want that. I'll break something if I touch it. I'd like to invite the jury back on the stage because it was your decision, not mine. So if they're going to throw rocks, I prefer they throw them at you, not me. Okay, as ever, these things are incredibly tight, and I would like to announce that the winner of digital media for this year's 4 years from now competition is The Motion. Woo.
There we go.
Woo!
All yours. Take it yourself, man. I'm not part of this anymore. I'm done. It's like a beauty pageant. I'm going to do commercials.
Thank you very much for your attention. That was amazing. That was 4 years from now. If you're interested in meeting any of the guys, they're going to be in Dome 1 immediately afterwards. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You didn't give any hard time. You didn't give him any hard time last time you did.